And we can say that young people who are just trying to get an education, we want to support them. We want to make that happen. We can increase payments to people who are living with disabilities and give them a little better chance in this world. There are a lot of things we can change. We just have to stay engaged and in the fight, and now is the time to do it.
So my dad always gives me these words of wisdom, and I never know how wise they kind of are. And I go, oh, Dad, whatever. But you said two things that he said to me a lot. He's always told me that a problem clearly defined is half solved. So by actually understanding the problem, then we know what you're asking of us, the general public, how we can be involved in changing that. With voting and just being active in our communities and speaking up. So we have to know where the problem, how the problem is defined, so we know a better idea of a solution. And my dad's always said a trying time is no time to quit trying.
That's right.
And it's easy to stay positive when things are good, and it's more challenging when things are challenging. And so to rise to that occasion and to try harder when we are being tried harder.
I love that. You know, that's the measure of who we are as people. And it's actually been one of the best parts in this crisis. It's just like you said, the folks who put up the signs to say thank you, I appreciate you. There's been so much of that in communities all across this country and all around the world. It really gives me hope. There are good people out there who are ready to rebuild their communities, ready to rebuild their countries, and ready to rebuild this world. We can do this.
And it gives me a lot of hope knowing that there's people like you who have dedicated their lives to fighting this injustice, standing up for the vulnerable. And I know you need to get back to that. So I just want to thank you so much for being on Bright Minded. You were just someone that I look up to, and I hope I don't just see you on like FaceTime and when we run into each other backstage at different shows. When it's all safe to do so, I just want to give you a hug and thank you so much for everything that you've done way before this pandemic and what you'll do way after it.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me say one last thing before you and I quit.
Please.
And that is, we all should have gotten a wake-up call with the election in Wisconsin last week. And so everything we want to do, in part, depends on our leadership. So critically important that we protect our right to vote. One of the things I'm pushing for right now is every registered voter in America should get a mail-in ballot for the upcoming election in November. They should be able to register online, and we should have expanded registration periods. If we have another wave of this pandemic, we do not want to make it so that people are having to make a choice between their health and voting. And we need to get those rules in place right now. I want to particularly emphasize that Vice President Biden, who is going to be the Democratic nominee, is strong on protecting voting. And one way to make sure we're strengthening our democracy is go to joebiden.com. Pitch in $5, volunteer to do a little texting or a little phone banking, but we got to be in this democracy. Every good thing we want to build depends on keeping our free and fair elections alive come November, and we got to start now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Senator.
Bye-bye.
She is just the most badass woman ever. I'm just so inspired, and I'm on fire. She actually answered that question for me. We were going to talk about our plans to make elections safe, including universal vote by mail, extending voting early. So I really want to see that plan come to life. It's really important that we are led by someone with those values. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and please keep sending in your hashtag highlighting heroes. I want to highlight more of your local heroes, and I'll see you tomorrow.